Hello, everybody. Welcome to Aiding with Aiden podcast. We have a very, very special guest today. Today, we're going to talk about inspiring others and giving back. But welcome, Jay Park.
Yes, sir. Matt, yeah, you have a very stern voice. Damn, it's like a father. Welcome to Aiden with Aiden. And
Well, don't I always sound like that?
no, but it's good though. It's very, what is it? It's like 믿음직스러워. How do I don't even know how to speak English
Trustworthy?
anymore. It's very trustworthy.
Oh, wow.
A lot of
I
conviction. I
appreciate
like it.
Oh, I think when I was younger, I used to talk like this,
Yeah.
and people couldn't hear me, and my voice was low.
Yeah.
And so I think I learned to project a little bit.
Good, man.
Maybe that's
good.
a good
That's
result.
Good. Yeah. It's better than welcome to Aiden with Aiden. Then I wouldn't trust you, bro.
Well, thank you. Man, it's truly an honor.
Appreciate you.
It's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Hey, thank you, man. It's my birthday. It is
Can
my
you
birthday.
believe that I'm 29, by the way? You're
Dang.
9 years older than me,
I
but it
am.
looks like I'm not saying in a disrespectful
No,
way,
of course,
but
of
you
course.
look so much younger than me. It's crazy.
No. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. I mean, Asian don't raisin, so we're blessed.
No, only Jay Park. Man, well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Today, I just want to talk about just your life a little bit, your life in Korea.
Yeah.
I know you've inspired so many people through your work, just things in front of the camera, behind camera, and I know you're humble too, and you don't usually talk about these
Yeah.
topics, but I do want to appreciate you and just kind of talk about that and let people know what you've been doing in the past to help the community. So I
Yeah.
hope this is a good opportunity to do that for us. Well, you have a world tour starting in May as well.
Yeah.
I tried to get a ticket in Korea. It's already sold out.
It is. I mean, yeah. No, if we have some, I'll invite you, bro, as a guest. I'll invite you. I'll put you on the guest list. Yes, I'm doing a tour for the first time in 6 years.
Wow.
Called Serenades and Body Rolls, and I mean, it's just more for myself as an artist and the legacy as an artist, and then also just for the fans because it's for me. A lot of artists they kind of depend on touring for revenue, or that's kind of like their main thing. For me, I do a lot of different things. So I mean, it's not that I don't want to tour. It's just I have a lot of other things to do,
Yes.
and so I really have to commit and take a lot of. It's like a year-long tour,
Right.
So taking a year out of my time to commit to the tour it's a lot of sacrifice, and for me, to be honest, like financially, it's not that beneficial for me. Just this, the sizes that I do, I'm not doing arenas and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like the fans deserve it, and I feel like I have to before I get a little. Today's my birthday. It's my 38th birthday. So before I get older, I need to do Mome a couple last times.
Until
So,
you're 80.
nah, bro. Not with them saggy pecs. No.
It's crazy how you mentioned that it's not very financially, it's a gain for you.
Yeah.
Because I know back in like 2017, when you were doing tours in Korea or doing concerts, festivals, you donated all that to like scholarships for university.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't talk about it. I'm so sorry if I like make you uncomfortable.
No
but
worries. No, not at all.
I want to highlight that.
No,
you
for
know?
sure. I kind of want to ask you, like, as well. I mean, because whenever someone does donations or community work or whatever, they have their own philosophy, right? I mean, for you, I see your what you do in your service on your social media, right? And so, like, I wonder kind of where did this come from, and what kind of inspired you to do it? Like, what's your story? Because it makes me wonder, just how you came about. Like, I should start doing this. You know what I mean?
Oh, thanks for asking. You're the first guest who's asked me about my story.
No, for sure, because I respect it. I respect it, and I mean, like you said, I know this is kind of like your thing, and then you want to highlight, artists or whoever's kind of doing what you're doing, right? And but also like I wonder, like, because we're both human, right? So I wonder what inspired you to do that. Like, what's your story? And then I'll let you know my story.
Yeah, I'm curious about yours
No,
too.
for sure.
I'll make it as short as possible.
Yeah.
But just growing up, I was doing a lot of just unhoused, homeless activities in my area.
Yeah.
My church was in Pomona, and so around there were a lot of homelessness. And so we went out as a group, and we there was just one event that happened. I approached an elderly woman. I was in high school at the time, and I offered her like $20 of my money, which was, for me, it was big money. It was a lot.
Yeah, of course.
And then she said, "Oh, I actually don't need this from you. I just need." So I asked, "What do you need?" And she said, "I need medication for myself and my son."
Okay.
And that kind of touched me a lot. And just with that experience, I ended up going to pharmacy school.
Okay.
So I practiced for about 4 years after graduating. And during that time, I worked with a lot of underprivileged communities, especially because my school was in Stockton, California, 10 most dangerous cities in the United States.
Yeah.
And so I worked with a lot of people with mental health issues, low-income families. And I think I got more skilled and learned empathetic skills to talk to these individuals.
Yeah.
And I try to find ways to help people as a pharmacist. So back in 2020, I made a TikTok account. I think I was the first pharmacist to do this, and I put out information that helps the common people. Like, not a lot of people know deeply about like Tylenol or like even birth control. There's some certain things that people need to know, but they don't.
Yeah.
And I released those videos and it helped, but I stopped making it. I just practiced. But one day I was just like, what makes me really happy? I got into a car accident, and so I was on a medical leave, and I was just sitting in my bed, and I was like, I want to do something that I really love for at least a month before I go back to work.
Yeah.
And so I had some money saved up for these kind of causes that I like doing, and then I just said, let's go to Korea, because I remember the elderly who were selling vegetables on the street, collecting cardboard for a living. Is it still like that? I researched, and it got worse, actually.
Yeah.
And so I ended up coming to Korea for about a month and just going out, knew the power of social media, trying to use that to crowdfund money. And here I am, continuing to do that, raising awareness, talking to people like you, inspiring more people. And so, yeah, that's my journey.
That's awesome. That deserves applause, bro.
Appreciate it.
Oh, that's awesome, bro.
Oh, man.
And you're not a pharmacist anymore.
I'm still licensed. I could go practice if I want, but I feel like this is my passion, and this is what I'm good at.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, for sure, 100%.
Thank you so much. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know, maybe you might relate, but I have Asian parents too.
Yeah.
I just gave up my pharmacy career to do social media.
Yeah.
Which is a new concept, right?
No, but it's not like you're like like. It's not like you're doing like fitness influence or anything like that. It's not like really for yourself. It's kind of like, obviously it makes you feel good. It makes you feel of value and what you're servicing the people. And so I'm sure it makes you feel good as well.
It does.
And it boosts your self-esteem. But at the same time, it's not just for yourself. You know what I mean? So I'm sure your parents are very proud of that.
They are.
I gave up my pharmacy license to be a rapper as well. So. I could tell you a little bit about my story as well.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please.
I mean, for me, bro, like, I didn't study when I was young. Obviously, since we both have Asian parents, like they tried to make me study, but for some reason, it just wasn't my thing. And I really related to, I guess, dancing and hip hop and rap, and so I think when you're especially, you're like what, like you said you're 27, 29,
yeah.
So you're like 9 years younger, right? So when I was like in elementary school, that's when like people really didn't know. Like, I'm not from LA in Korea, or I'm not from California.
Yeah,
Seattle.
Seattle.
So in Seattle, like Koreans were not like the it people, you know what I mean? So it especially being Asian growing up at that time, it's really just kind of like the early 90s it's all about black and white. So the Asian people, especially Asian males, didn't have a lot of representation and a lot of kind of just a lot of voice, basically, right? It's either you kind of liked hip hop, or you just played sports, or you're just studying.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? And then so for me, I found breakdancing, and that kind of really gave me a sense of identity, and kind of like, okay, this is where I fit in. Oh, this is what makes me feel good. This is what gives me kind of liberation. Oh, it makes me feel like I belong somewhere, basically. And so ever since then, that's kind of like where I just started doing, like rap, hip hop. That's where all my friends are. That's what brought me to Korea, and so I'm very thankful for that. And also, I think when you're Korean, especially Korean American, you go to church. There's Korean church, so there's always a sense of like doing stuff together, right? Togetherness. Especially when I was younger, we always had like gatherings with all my cousins and all my aunts and uncles, and then even like hip hop and the breakdance community. It's all about crew mentality. It's all about community, uplifting your community. So I think maybe those values got instilled there, where it's like, okay, like it's all about it's not just about me, it's about us. I think that's kind of where I got that mentality, and then also just me, like the more I see people, because when I was growing up, not all my friends were Korean, so I had a bunch of different ethnic group of friends. So it's like, okay, like, I'd go to their house, I'd meet their parents, et cetera, et cetera. So then you see more and more like, oh, like everyone's like similar, right? Everyone's very similar. So I think I never had a sense of like, okay, like I'm Asian, I'm Korean, you're something, you're something, you're something. You're of this religion, you're of this sexuality, you're of, like, I just see everyone as human, right? So, and even me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think I had that at a very young age, and maybe that's kind of one of the advantages of growing up in America. Right now, I feel like it's like they use all the things that are very beautiful to kind of divide, like whether it be, political stuff or religion or whatever. But, to me, different backgrounds and that's what makes us unique. I don't think it makes, even though it's different, it shouldn't divide. You know what I mean? We should communicate and share. But but for me, yeah. So just long story short, I always see everyone as humans, and so when I see just people going through stuff, I mean, obviously, if it's someone that I know, if I could help, I'll help, right? And the biggest thing is, always everything's about money, right? People don't have money, right? So it's like everything, whether it be my family or whether it be everyone around me, it's always about money. If you don't, medication, food, you need money, right? So it's like, okay, if I want to help people, if I want to help myself, help my family, what I need to do, I need to make money. How am I going to make money? That was always the thing. So for me, my dream was never to be a singer. I just happened to rap and dance, and that's what was able to give me the opportunity, and then to make money, right? And so, so I think I have a lot of traits where, I don't like to, whatever I do, I want it to be me. I want it to be true to myself, and I don't want it to be fake. And also, if I come up, whether it be financially or like in terms of like notoriety or acknowledgement or whatever, I always try to acknowledge as well, because that's very important as well. So I always try to share that with whoever. I never like people like to use gatekeep, right? These days. For me, I never gatekeep knowledge or resources or network.
Wow.
Yeah, because for me, I'm like, I work hella hard. So like my skill set, what I bring to the table, not a lot of people can replicate. Just because you know the same people as me doesn't mean you're going to be able to do the same shit as me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I know I'm one of one. So if you're willing to work harder than me, then I need to work harder. So it also kind of keeps me on my toes as well. So yeah, for me, I always like, if I could help the next person, whether it be a rapper or whether it be whoever, and it doesn't damage what I'm doing, then I'll go out my way to try to help you or try to link someone or I'm not gonna just give you $100,000, but but if it's to a cause or if it's to whatever, and it, like, I could lend a helping hand, I'll try to do it. Or if I could do it myself, or I could make that link, or if I could make that person's day or make that person's life, and it doesn't really take that much time out of my day, then I'll do it. So that's kind of like even like that thing that you're talking about in the scholarship donation stuff. I mean, at that time, my philosophy was whenever you're an artist, you have a certain fee that you get, you charge, right? For the bookings. And so for me, I'm like, obviously it's a college, so they're not gonna be able to pay my full fee. So I don't want to lower my fee, but also at the same time, like, I want to perform at the college, so okay, let's just donate it. So that was kind of my philosophy at that time. And then, yeah, I mean, there's not specific causes where I'm like, yo, I'm so strongly advocate. I'm just like, yo, I advocate for humans. You know what I mean? So.
Wow, dude, I'm in so awe of
No,
this
no,
is
no,
what
no.
it means to be awed by something. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, cause like you said, you have no business being here with me. I'm not. You're
Nah,
just
bro.
trying to help me out.
No,
which
no,
is
not at
crazy.
all. I mean, I think what you do is very respectable. Yeah, bro. I mean, I don't know. Like, oh, it's called aiding with Aiden. You know what I mean? But I was curious about your story as well because
thank
just because you get. What is it? Not everyone that gets millions and millions of views. It doesn't mean that they're doing the most valuable stuff. You know what I mean? So
That's a very respectable thing, and it's crazy to me because you do work with A-list, and then you work with people who are coming up, and I do notice that a lot.
Yeah.
And that's very respectful because not a lot of people do that. They want to protect their time, their energy, their resources,
Their
like
brand.
you said, their brand
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But you're one of those people who are. So I was talking to your manager, but like you're so chill about just talking to people about whatever it is, like you said, just humane things.
Yeah.
You're that person, and I haven't met anybody else who are like that, especially in Korea.
yeah,
So
yeah, bro. I mean, I definitely try not to lose myself in this kind of, I guess, facade. I don't say facade, but this kind of like a because I'm a celebrity, right? So everybody doesn't know me on a human level, right? So since most people that know who I am know me on like a celebrity level, they tend to treat me like a celebrity, right? And so yeah, I mean, just because they think I'm like some type of celebrity or some type of like figure that is above them or society doesn't mean I need to think about myself like that because then I'll get lost in the sauce and I'll start taking things a different path than what I originally wanted. There's a certain way I want to live my life and a certain person I want to be, and so that I think that would steer me away from who I want to be. So yeah.
Was that difficult per se living in Korea for so long?
No, I mean
Not for you.
I mean it was difficult at first because I couldn't speak Korean very well, and I didn't have any friends here. And then also I didn't know the culture here. But, it's not just living in Korea, but it's also just, because I don't feel like this is normal. You know what I mean? Like getting a lot of eyes on you and always being critiqued and everyone have an opinion about what you're doing, and then always, having to kind of just be aware of what's going on. Like I don't think it's normal, right? So, obviously I'm very blessed. But also, I mean, there's so many examples of how it can go very, very wrong, right? And that's kind of like, yo, you need to check yourself when you're f***ing up, and you need to check yourself. So I think I've done a somewhat of. I mean, I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I think I'm somewhat good at checking myself.
This is such a good learning experience for me, and you kind of hinted at being part of a community a lot of times in your life when you're younger too. That yes, but where do you get that giving aspect in your life? Like where did you get inspired by that?
I mean, just because I wish that when I was in when I was going through hard times or when I needed a helping hand, I wish that there was someone that would, and it's not just with a type of agenda, just with a good heart, right? And it's you can't find that a lot, right? And I feel like just wherever I go, if you're gonna help somebody, you need to not expect anything back, right?
I agree.
A lot of people that's a loan. I'm not giving out loans, right? I'm helping out people through the goodness of my. I'm not trying to give out loans. Oh, if I do this, you pay me back. Yeah, it's not. We're not doing business here, right? So yeah, I mean, for me, I wish there would have been people that would have done that for me. And so for me, I'm just like, yo, like, I try to do that, and it kind of just, I don't know, that's just who I am, and I think that's why a lot of people respect me for it, because I do a lot of shit that I don't need to do. Right, and I don't speak on it, and I don't I did this for you. How could you do this for me?
You never do.
Yeah, I don't, and I'm not the type to kind of like, oh, hey, you remember when I did this for you, right? Like, I'm not the type to, keep on nagging you about it. Like I'll do it and I'll forget about it, right? And so I mean, if you appreciate it, I appreciate it. If you don't, then it is what it is, right? Then we know where we stand, right? So for me, I think it also gives me an opportunity to gauge who's real and who's not, and so then I could distance myself from whoever I don't want around me. You know what I mean? So
Was there a time? I know you said there wasn't too many people who helped you when you needed the helping hand. Was there a time that you remember specifically back in the day that maybe have helped you inch forward to your dreams?
of course. I mean, for me, obviously, all my parents, not all my parents. I have like 25 parents or some shit. All my parents, both my parents, and my family. I was saying all my friends, like all my friends from Seattle. Like, the thing I appreciate about all them is, like the moment I came back from Korea to Seattle, like they just started making fun of me, and that's what I like though. It's one of those things where it's like that's how it's like a lifelong friendship. It's like where you could just clown on each other through hard times, and then you don't take it offensive. But the thing I remember really is like I remember Drunken Tiger JK and Dynamic Duo Hyungdim들. They like featured on my album and kind of like shouted me out at a time where it was kind of like taboo to kind of be in ties with me, right? Back in the day. So that's why I really, really appreciate them. Always. And yeah, till this day, like, I mean, they're legends of the game, but for me, whenever I see them, I give them the utmost respect, and I'm very appreciative till this day.
That's amazing. Hey, you've done so much for other people too, but do you have a goal or a passion in mind that you haven't achieved or had the time to do yet?
I mean, for me, I just kind of like, I don't have like a specific goal in life. For me, it's just to be happy. It's just to be happy. It's just to, make sure that the people that I have in my life are happy and I can provide opportunities and space for them to grow. And so, and then also I need to grow myself and challenge myself as well for them to keep on growing as well. So for me right now, probably a short-term goal is so I founded a company called More Vision a few years back. And then so we're producing idol groups. And so we have our guy group coming out next year.
Oh, congrats.
So that's a lot. It was a lot of time, effort, and funds that went into that. So, but yeah, we have a good group of guys. And so that's exciting because, like just to bring something new to the table for me is always exciting. And, me as an artist, I've been doing it for what, like now it's almost been like 18 years, 17 years, 18 years. And so just to kind of, like we said earlier, just pass this knowledge and this on to the next generation. These guys are like 20 years younger than me. It's exciting. It's exciting, and it's cool that like I'm still active, so that like we could still do stuff together. Like how like LeBron's playing with his son on the same team, like that type of shit. It's like he's like 20 years younger, but we're on stage together, and it doesn't look weird. Yeah. So I mean, hopefully it could be like that, right? And then in terms of like helping out the community and stuff like that, like I always want to, because you realize when you go to certain places, it's bigger than you and your neighborhood or your city. It's like for me, if you go out of the country, like people are like in Seattle, like they're so hung up on like, yo, oh, you're from this area, or you're from up north, you're from up down south, you're from, and then you go to different states, oh, you're from Seattle, everyone's from Seattle, right? And then you leave the country and you're like, oh, you're from America, right? So it's like, and
Very
yeah. So for me, that's why I'm always like, yo, like, but wherever I go, I represent Seattle, I represent Korea, I represent, if on a smaller scale, I represent More Vision. Like on a bigger scale, I represent like hip hop in Korea. So so for me, I always try to, I represent a lot of different things, right? And so I always try to carry myself a certain way and make sure that I don't represent us the wrong way. And then also, whenever there's someone, like I realize like, what it means to be a community is, you have to, when people are down and out, it's like, especially when people, they give a lot to the community, right? And it gets a lot of notoriety.
Yeah.
Like let's say it's the hip hop community, right?
Yeah.
And the OGs get a lot of notoriety at a certain time, and then their popularity fades away, right? And then so later on, who needs to prop them up? It's the community. It's the hip hop community. Because like, yo, thank you for all you've done.
Yeah.
Even though, people on TikTok don't know you, we know what you've done. So we need to value that as OGs, but also the OGs, they need to, whatever they learned and whatever they can help the next generation, they need to pass that on. So that communication is very important. But at right now, it's like, oh, you're old, you're a conde. Oh no, these young guys, they don't know what they're talking about. So there's a lot of disconnect, I feel. And so for me, kind of being in the middle, right? Because I'm linked with everybody. I realize how important it is. So yeah, so that's why it's like you need to invest into the community, and you need to also whatever which community it is, whatever which community it is. Like
that makes sense, because it's pretty similar to what I'm doing. It's the elderly who are on the street right now, in poverty, are the ones who made this country to be what it is right now. And so they're obviously not doing well in this country, and trying to raise them back up and offer a small financial help at least. Of
course.
That's so cool how it connects like that.
No, but it's exactly like that, because, everyone forgets all the sacrifice, like people that fought in the war, or everything that our parents or our grandparents or our great parents went through for us to even be talking and doing this podcast. Because back in the day, people worried about they were just worried about eating.
Yeah, food.
You know
just
what I mean?
to survive.
Or not dying today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we have to be very thankful, and obviously, since we're a capitalist country, right? Yeah. So like people, they could get so caught up in their lives and try to make money and try to outdo the next person because of social media and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, like we're all human, right? So you got to remember, like, yo, like imagine what they went through. So it's like, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's why people like you are very important, because people tend to forget because they take it for granted because they're so caught up in, there's so many distractions, right? Like you don't want to think about that shit. It's sad. It's depressing.
Yeah.
Right. So they want to think about other shit. They want to look at other shit, right? And they want to be caught up in their own lives and whatever. But I think you don't need to devote your life like you to that shit. But also, it's like you just need to be mindful and grateful and try to stay grounded and yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely different ways a person could play into their community.
No,
but I want to share a story. There's a grandma that I met actually recently in Busan. She was like 85 years old, and she went through the Japanese colonialism and Korean War.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how like her friends were taken away by the Japanese. Like she still remembers that. I asked her like what her hardest hardship was that she remembers, and that was it. Like people getting taken away during the war, and they're still trying to live life right now, but we've forgotten about them. And I feel like we should try to appreciate the last, the ones who are still here and living life.
I think right now people are more, they put more time and energy to blame not blame, but to target the attacker, the perpetrator, the oppressor. They then try to help out the victim. You know what I mean? Like the people are they want to just hate on people, but it's like, yo, like, just help people, like let's like you said, like let's highlight, like, yo, let's try to help people. Let's try to help the people that are out here and struggling through generational trauma, right? Yeah. So for sure. I mean, what you're doing is great.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, you too. You're doing such a phenomenal job in a way bigger scale than I am. So it's amazing to see. But I did have a question, more of an advice that I want to ask you. Like I started this not too long ago, and it's always giving sometimes. And for you too, I feel like you've gave a lot in your life. Where do you find your rest? Where do you find your receiving and to find that fulfillment or fuel to give back? I know you briefly talked about the idea of just helping people fulfills you. Yeah. But, people do get burnt out. But I feel like you never get burnt out. Where do you find your fuel?
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a very lonely walk. I mean, to be honest, it's like maybe like after you die, they'll give you praise. But yeah, but that's just how the world works, bro. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. So, you know, for me, it's fulfillment, right? It's just like, yo, like, and it's not even fulfillment. It's like, yo, like, you know, let's say the homie's having a hard time during COVID or whatever. Okay, cool. And you know, family or whatever it may be, I could send them bills or I could send them whatever, or you know, we could do something. You know, I could send whatever to a certain restaurant and you know, like people are struggling through COVID. Like let's hand out meals. Even though I'm here, I can still do stuff because you know I'm making money out here, and I you know, so I could kind of facilitate that type of stuff, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, people are entitled, right? They get very entitled, and people forget very quickly of what you've done. So it's one of those things where you get end of the stick. So you know how they say nice guys finish last, right? Yeah. So in society, they do finish, like, you get the end of the stick. You really do, because you're trying to be a nice guy, right? But at the end of the day, like for me, I could still carry myself with pride, right? So how much is that worth to you? To other people, it's not worth that much. To me, it's worth a lot.
For yourself.
For myself, yeah. How I carry myself, how I talk to other people, how I, you know what I mean? What I could say to people, like, it means a lot. Yeah, it means more than, yo, I have $1 billion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, so at the end of the day, it's kind of up to you.
Wow, that's crazy. Because, I mean, I haven't been doing it for too long.
Yeah.
But I still do. I stay in Korea for about a month, but I take a break for like 2-3 months back home.
Yeah.
But for you don't.
I mean, but, you know, we do different stuff, though. We do different stuff. And, you know, everyone, like, everyone's different, right? Everyone's, their journey is different. Their timing is different. Their meaning of success and happiness is different. Their standards are all different. So, yeah, it's, you know, you got to find balance within your own life. And that's not something that I can, like, just, yo, you need to do this. No, it's like, you're Aiden. You need to figure it out. I could share my story with you, and you could take that and you could, you know, configure it however you need.
That's crazy, because this idea is still, I feel like you need to receive in order to give.
Yeah.
Kind of. But for your life, I feel like I haven't seen too much like receiving. And
No, not at all. I mean, you know, I think people realize later on, like, you know, even a lot of people that I work with, like, they realize like 2-3 years later of like, oh, okay, like, oh, damn, you sacrificed hella for me. Like, I'm thankful 3 years later. You know what I mean?
I see.
Yeah, so, but that's it. At that time, they couldn't understand. They didn't have the capacity to understand what this relationship was and what I was doing for them. So, but if I was like, oh, you ungrateful, then we might have, you know, had a falling out, and we might not have, and, you know, they might have just held animosity to me. But, you know, I always kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt, and, you know, was try to be more understanding and more patient, and then it always worked out. So, yeah, you just need to give people time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
At this stage in your life, I know that you don't expect anything back. But I don't know if you ever thought of this idea. What would you like to kind of receive from someone? Like, how could somebody help you in like at this stage in your life?
You know, for me, like, I don't think it's this person. God will bless me. Yeah, I believe God will bless me, right? I don't know which way. I don't know. You know,
Right.
I don't. God, please bless me with 3 Lamborghinis.
It doesn't have to be financial.
Yeah. I don't really, you know, pray for things like that. I pray for things like health. You know, just, you know, I'm thankful for the people that I have in my life, and I want to continue to be thankful and not taking. I just want to not take anything for granted, right? I don't want to be so tainted and what is it, like. You know how, like, the world turns you cold when you know, because they don't understand you. So no matter how many, how many times I'm bashed or bruised or battered or whatever, like, I want to just keep that, like, I don't want to say warm heart, but I never want to turn cold hearted, right? And so, yeah, there's not really anything that, I mean, if they just give me, you know, love and respect, that's it. That's all I need. I don't need them to go super out their way to do anything for me, right? That's to each its own. But yeah, I mean, if they just, give me love and respect, that's it. I think respect is a very important thing. Not out of fear, but just out of, my character, right? I think that's very important. But other than that, I don't really need to receive too much. Yeah.
I see. Talking about respect, I respect your philosophy a lot. You go on a lot of TV shows, and recently I think you were on Song Shigyong-nim's show. I watched that, and he asked you like a question like identify who you are, like in your words, and your first thing was like I'm a son.
Yeah.
Like I'm a like that kind of thing. You don't say I'm a CEO of this company. I'm not.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Like it's where do you get that mindset, and do you have like a routine of how you keep that stable mentality of like humbleness,
like the ice bath?
That's crazy, Saratoga water. No, but I feel like you do have some kind of, because you've been so humble and so consistent for such a long time, and publicly too. There's a lot of eyes on you.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, bro, I'll talk shit and I'll be braggadocious and I work hard and I am what is it? Like I do things to a very high standard in a lot of areas, right? But so I'm very prideful in all the work that I put in and what I've been able to accomplish, right? But that doesn't define who I am. You know what I mean? I'm not my accolades. I'm not what I've accomplished. Oh yeah, well, who are you? I'm a 3-time Grammy winner. That's who I am. No, like you know what I mean? Like that's even though I'm not a Grammy winner, but that's not who I am, right? I'm Jay Park, right? I'm my parents' kids. I'm my brother's big brother. I'm Jay Park, right? So, and that's kind of like, the reason why you don't forget your roots is because then you could be authentic and you could be true to yourself. And so whatever you do, you carry yourself of like who you are. Right. So yeah, even though I'm a CEO, at the end of the day, I'm Jay Park. So I'm a CEO of how Jay Park would do it, if that makes sense. Right. Just because I'm a CEO, Jay Park doesn't need to change. You know what I mean? I need to grow, but it's like, I'm a CEO, so now I'm gonna do this. But then that's just who you were from the start.
Wow, that's so 멋있어. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Hey, I know you post when you go on your runs or you do exercises, you like thank God and you take a picture of nature all the time. Is that a big part of your life?
So I think you always need to remind yourself, right? Just to be thankful for just simple things, right? Because everything is not definite and it's not going to be forever. Even natural disasters and COVID and, so everyone thinks like, like all this is so definite and they're like, AI technology and they're like, all like Uber Eats and everything just gets, handed to your door and not everything is definite, right? So I try to be very thankful for little things like being able to walk or just, opening my eyes or just having both my parents or, being able to run. And so I look at the sky and things that were created by God and it's just like, I'm thankful. I just try to remind myself to be thankful of these things. And then, it's like a reminder to myself. And I guess a lot of people, they find inspiration through it. It's
They do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, this guy, he's thankful for everything. I should be thankful. Like if he's thankful, I should. So I don't know what I am to them, but for me, I'm trying to remind myself. And it's a practice, right? Just like everything else, you got to kind of instill it. It's like a discipline. Yeah. Like, be thankful. It's not definite. It's not, because it's so easy this day and age to not think like that and to take everything for granted until everything is lost.
Right.
Yeah.
You did talk about how people are inspired by you, especially the younger generation are super inspired by you.
I think you're the last generation. No, I don't think there's like 11-year-olds like,
I don't think so.
Thankful. I need to be thankful too.
I think 11-year-olds are doing that, to be honest. It's crazy. But it's a learning experience for me too. But do you have any advice for the younger generation that are looking up to you right now?
I mean, just, keep it consistent. I think consistency is something that's very important. And it's so cliche, but you can't give up. Because everything is hard. Like you should expect, the only thing that you should expect is expect it to be hard. Don't expect the rewards, right? The rewards will come when you put in the work. So I think these days a lot of people are not willing to put in the work, and they expect the rewards because they see everything that's so like on social media, and they're just like, there's all this shit on TikTok. I made $1 million in 1 month. It's like, no, you didn't. Anyways. So I mean, yeah. So expect it to be hard. Dedicate your or put your really like if I don't know if you're just doing it for money, just do it for money. Like that's something else. That's like. You're like do crypto. That's like you can't be super passionate about crypto, right? It's not like personal fulfilling. Yeah, but if you're super passionate about something, really devote your life and turn it into something of value. Turn your passion into something of value. Turn it into, a job or a career or a legacy or whatever it may be. So,
yeah, I feel like you've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you have an advice for 20-year-old Jay Park?
20-year-old Jay Park, ooh, don't start drinking. That's my advice.
Don't start drinking?
Don't start drinking, yeah.
Or was there a negative time?
Of course. I mean, drinking is just not good for you. But I mean, it's kind of funny because I'm like the one soju, I mean, it's one of those things where, especially as you get older, I mean, when you're younger, you're like, you want to party and then, shots, let's take shots. But now that I'm older and I'm like, I have like that Korean 직장인 life now, almost like a 반 직장인. I'm like, I understand why everyone drinks so much. It's just like so everything's so stressful, and it's just like one of those things where it's like you don't even want to go to the club. You just want to fucking drink with your people and just talk about life and work and. So, but, for me, it's like, I have a lot of things to do on top because I'm an artist as well. So it's like, it's a very, it's a good companion, but it's also a very dangerous companion to your liver and just to your overall mental health. And, so that's something that I'm trying to balance as well. Like, okay, I can't just drink all the time. Like what do I need to do? Like, let's just find a balance.
I see.
Yeah.
But when you...
Is that why your IG account name is more social, please?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is not what a liquor CEO should be saying. Spirit CEO should be. Don't start drinking, please. No,
but when you do, drink more one soju.
Soju, yeah, facts.
Oh my God, that's amazing. We're nearing the tail end of the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, if you have more questions, go ahead, bro. I mean,
I wanted to actually help some elderly with you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, where we're at right now, there's not too much on the street, and due to time constraints, we're not able to do that. But
we just go into like some random it's like, do you need money? It's like, no, I'm a chaebol. I own this building. What do you mean?
You're coming out of my building. But yeah, I was just thinking about how we could at least raise awareness together, and if it's okay, I just want to take some time after this podcast to, like, maybe just. Do like a video or like a words of encouragement to the elderly. I feel like it'll still mean, the crazy thing is, 할머니, 할아버지 know you?
Oh yeah, I mean, so of course.
Yeah.
So, I think there is something that we could do one day, and we'll figure that out. For me, I want like me and all my trainees and all my employees to do something together, like so that, at least maybe like quarterly or like twice a year or something like that. Come together and like really just it's not about work. It's not just kind of like this is like at the end of the day we should still be mindful of like that we're human beings. You know what I mean? Even though we all work together. So that like it's called philanthropy, right? That's what it is. Yeah, I always wanted to do that. That's something a goal of mine that I wanted to do. Like all of us together to go do something together. Even back in the day what is it? It's like 15 years ago. Me and my homies, my b-boy homies, Art of Movement, we went and we performed at the Special Olympics like ceremony or whatever. Like, yeah, and so that's something that was just super cool, right? We went like 2 hours away and we were just performing and it was cool. And then we ate with them afterwards and stuff like that. And it's not stuff that we put on social media. It's just it's just
camera.
Yeah, it's just stuff that we do. So I mean, I want. These days, everything is for camera, everything is for content. So sometimes it's like, let's just be humans, right? Let's not be, let's not try to feed our ego or think about business or think about numbers. Let's just be humans and help out other humans. It's just because that's basic instinct, right? So let's remind ourselves how that feels every 4 months or 6 months or whatever. So yeah, I mean, if there's something that we can organize that we could do together, let's do it, bro.
I'll be on there. I'll definitely reach out to you about
for
that.
sure.
But my job, you know how you said, not everything has to be on camera, but
Yeah.
my job is to highlight
No, of
to,
course,
things
of course,
like that.
of course, of course.
Because I know the power of inspiration.
Of
and
course.
you continue to do it behind camera.
Yeah.
I will continue to try to
No,
highlight what you do behind
100%.
camera.
For me, like it wouldn't, just because, you know, what I do is different. That's why it for me, it just, you know, sometimes it's okay and sometimes, but for you, this is kind of your mission, right? And this is why you're on this earth. So for you, I understand.
It
you know
is,
what I mean?
but I want
Yeah.
people to know not what I do, but I want people to know what you do too.
No, for sure.
It's truly inspiring.
No, for sure. I appreciate it.
I just have a whole list of things that you've done, like donating money or like you spoke for for Asians, black community, everything. Some other day I will just list that out and let the world know. I know you don't like to tell people about it, but I want people to know how much impact you've made as an artist through that, and you help people with hard times and just with expressing themselves too. But outside of that, just philanthropic work that you do off camera have helped so many people in so many different ways. So I just, on behalf of people, I just want to say thank you.
Cool, man. Appreciate it.
It's actually truly amazing because you're the real influencer. You're the person who influences other people to do so.
No, for sure.
I grew up watching you a lot too, and I still respect you from back then. I respect you now. I just want to say on behalf of all those people that have known you for a long time, thank you for all the work that you put into the US community, just Asian community, even black hip hop community, and the Korean American community as well.
Appreciate it.
Because the hardships that you went through in early 2000s, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough now, but it was tougher back then. And
No,
so
for sure.
you definitely paved paths for people, and I just want to say thank you.
Appreciate you, bro.
So before we end, do you have any last thing you want to share to the audience or to me or
Yeah, bro.
advice for me? Or
I mean, no advice. I'm just, it was because when I do podcasts and stuff like that, it's like there's not a lot of opportunities to talk about stuff like this. You know what I mean? And so it's cool that you're doing this. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can collaborate more in the future and do stuff, right? I'm not like you. I'm not going to devote my life to this, but
But you have.
I mean, somewhat.
You are.
Somewhat. But yeah, hopefully, we can inspire more people to just be kind, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you don't even need to do anything like financially, right? Just to do something, a kind gesture to someone goes a long way, right?
That's so true.
And just to speak to people in a certain manner, or when you ask for certain things, to speak to people in a certain manner, it goes a long way. So yeah, I mean, just be kind. I mean, hopefully one day the internet can be kind too. But just be kind.
Yeah. All right. Just on the last note, just to lighten the mood a little bit. You know that you were on Tiger Belly a year ago with Unfounded. There was a clip of you talking about just learning Korean or teaching Bobby Korean, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch when he asked what Pyeonso was?
Oh, Pyeonso, yeah.
Did you ever find out what that actually meant?
It actually does. I thought it was a name. No, he said Pyeonsu 아니야? 변소였나?
Pyeonso.
변소.
Like, is that your brother?
이변소인가? No.
Yeah, but it's like an old way of saying the toilet, right?
Yeah. I didn't know.
I thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time either.
Yeah.
But there was a Korean edited clip going around saying that why is Jay Park teaching Korean to Bobby Lee when he doesn't know what Pyeonso means?
Yo, shout outs to Bobby Lee, bro. We both probably look so like ignorant. Like he's like, wait, what is it? Pyeonso? And I was like, yo, is that your brother? Like we probably look so ignorant. But anyways, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here on your birthday, which is crazy.
No worries.
Happy birthday once again.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Continue all your good work. Thank you.
For sure, bro.
All right.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Thank you.